Hello. Sorry, I'm just trying to keep track of Hopi. There's been there's been a storm, and so he's a little bit nervous, but I think he'll be all right down there. Yeah, hello. Thank you for watching my premiere of the Klawu Schism video. Yeah, we've been working on that for quite a while. I think we recorded it. Oh, it would have been the end of last year. Hello. Let's make sure I've got the chat on properly. Yeah, looks good. Okay. Yeah, no, so he sort of approached me out of the blue. I think maybe he had seen one of my Disturbed covers and is like, hey, do you want to collab? Hello. Again. But this time with my face. Yeah, so hang on, let me check my light. Oh, okay, I think that's good. Yeah, no, I'm in my Yu-Gi-Oh pajamas. So we started working on that, yeah, towards the end of last year, and he's just like, do you want to do a project together? And sent me the work in progress for the track. And like, it's not my normal genre, so I wasn't really sure like what to write, and so he wrote the vocals, so wrote the lyrics, and then like a little melody kind of line for me to follow and interpret, and yeah, kind of built it from there. And then I played with some of the editing, so like, you know, when the voice sort of cuts in a sort of jittery way, yeah, I was playing with some of that and just sent it through, and he's like, yeah, that's really cool, we'll put that in. And then, yeah, just sort of back and forwards, you know, as he did like the music and all that and putting it together. And so, yeah, back and forward with some feedback. And then the track was done. It didn't actually take that long to get the track done. But where things did sort of stretch out is, you know, it was sounding really nice and all that. And he said, oh, do you think we should maybe do a music video? And this is where we got, well, I got completely carried away, because I was like, yeah, music video, that'll be fun. I haven't done a music video before. So yeah, started working on it. Now I think the idea for the music video came from when we were trying to work out what to make the like cover photo for the track. And so I found that old picture of me, which is like the main promotional picture that we've been using, and yeah, edited that a little bit and put some effects on it, put some text on it, and yeah, that was the cover. And then when I was thinking about the music video, I was like, well, you kind of want the music video to tie in with the cover some way, and that's how I ended up with that circle shape and me in it. And then like when I first took that photo for the cover, that was like ages ago, so you know, I don't have the same makeup stuff to do that again. So I was thinking about how can I turn this into something coherent. And so that's why the actual cover flashes up on the screen. And then I use that to inspire the circle with the characters in it. And yeah, but I think I actually started with the lyrics part. And so that's why there's a separate lyric video, because I actually worked on that sort of section first, apart from the little, you know, little in-between bits where the video actually happens. So Klawu actually sent me, in the beginning, you see a few different shots, and they have that grainy film kind of look. Anything with the grainy film look is Klawu's footage. So I think it was maybe a grandparent's basement or something. And then also walking around in the street and just filming interesting things. And yeah, so he sent me that footage and I cut it up and put it in. The rest of the footage is stuff that I filmed around the house. So there's, you know, like the sort of attic space, there's some weird stuff. Some of it's close-ups of my crazy wall, which you see in the background of some of like the shots of me. And then also I got like, when I was at art school, I did this project with a whole bunch of toys. I think some of you have seen the performance video of that. And I got all those toys back out from upstairs and just set them up outside and against the wall and panned across, and yeah, sort of played with that and just playing with effects, put that in. But yeah, the main thing I started off with was the lyrics. and I knew I wanted it to have that sort of glitchy look. So I actually had to go away and learn how to do a glitch effect. I did the whole thing in HitFilm Express because, yes, I've been using DaVinci Resolve more, but the special effects part of it, I would have to completely learn that from scratch. And I was just like, yeah, it's not intuitive, at least not to me at the moment, whereas I actually know HitFilm Express pretty damn well at this point. And yeah, so I looked up some tutorials on how to do the glitchy text, and you can get it to glitch like constantly, but then to make it stutter with the glitch. And oh my gosh, getting that all timed up. Now with the text, I actually designed the text in Photoshop and then brought each separate thing in and put them all together. So yeah, that was time consuming enough. And then, yeah, the lyric video was like almost there. Some of the background footage I hadn't put in, but it was looking really nice. And I was tempted to stop there. But because of my circle idea, I was like, no, I need to keep going forward. So my Patreon guys have seen some of the snippets, some of the, photos that I exported from that. But basically I did 10 different characters, costumes. You see the video cutting between all the costumes that I've got. All of it was filmed in my room, just there. So some of it you would see the wall that I have, but I also hung up some black sheets, and I had a yellow piece of fabric and hung them up. And I think if I could do it again, I might be tempted to just use the black sheets, because I found an effect that really emphasizes it so that you don't see any of the wrinkles, and it actually looks really cool. And this was all filmed on my old phone as well, because this was end of last year. I started working on a lot of it. I didn't get this phone until like in January maybe. So yeah, it came up pretty good for, a 5-year-old phone. It's like once I put all the effects in and did like my basic attempt at color grading, and I tried to make each different character have a slightly different color or effect on it. Yeah, and then, but I actually did all the effects at the end because I didn't want to stress out the computer. Like, yes, the computer's amazing, but there's no point stressing it out if I don't have to. So I turned them all into composite shots. Instead of like editing the basic thing, I connected them all and then chopped up, and then I could go back to where they're all connected and put an effect on it, and it would affect the whole thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I just did it. I did it in such a way that I could put the effects on afterwards, and it would just blanket affect every single shot from that clip that's been cut up. But yeah, no, the lyric video part took long enough because I had to design all the words, put them all in place, cut them up, get a few different variations, but then cutting up the faces, the different characters, and trying to get them in time with the lyrics and also in time with the beat when there's no lyrics. Yeah, that took a long time because there's 10 of them. So I had 10 different timelines. I actually had 11 because there was one where like I almost filmed it, but then like I didn't quite finish that take because I freaked out about something. Yeah, so I had all these timelines, and then I'm just cutting between them and making sure they all line up and trying different ones to see which shot would look good. Like in a they don't even go for a second long, some of them, and I'm just trying to work out what goes nicely in there. Oh dear. It took quite a while. I did try and also, like, if I hadn't seen one in a while, I would go back to that character and make sure they pop up somewhere so that it's relatively even in terms of how often they turn up, but not in a rigid way, not in a predictable way. It's a bit more organic than that, and choosing what looks good at the time, not necessarily which one I'm up to. Yeah, and I learned so much as well with the different effects. Like if you notice, there's the one where I'm wearing the teddy. My arm's still a bit sore, but yeah, this one. And so that was on the black background, and like the teddy has when the light's on it, some bits get a little bit brighter. And so I found this effect where you can get a flare to go, and that's how it's just got this light that keeps coming up. And I was like, this is so cool. So I was good and I didn't overuse it, but finding effects like that, like I didn't know that. I mean, HitFilm Express is a free program, and I was able to do so much with it. It just took a long time because, it's all DIY. And one of the reasons for doing such an editing heavy music video is like, I wanted it to be DIY, but I didn't want it to look DIY. I wanted it to look like, it's a little bit more professional. There are bits that like are clearly DIY, but I think I polished it up nicely that, it's a presentable sort of art piece. And I was pretty happy with how it all came together. And the fact that I filmed like all of that in my room just here, which is kind of fun. I think I did it over 3 different days. And just like pegging things to that little wall thing I've got, and having the track play and making sure everything syncs up. It was an interesting experience because I've never done a music video before. Now the DIY thing, the DIY thing, right? I'm stingy for one thing. So it's like, music videos cost money. So I was like, yes, I want to do a music video, but like, I don't want to spend a lot of money. But also the challenge of it, like, can I make this happen? Can I make it work? And yeah, I think it worked. It just took a lot of effort, a lot of time. And, I've got other things going on in my life. So some days I couldn't work on it. And then, when I actually did get bogged down, because there's so many tiny edits, like just to make a 4-minute video, and I'm sitting there like cutting all these tiny little bits to make sure that they all line up and look good. Yeah, it was quite a project. There's been a lot of time on it, and it took a long time to get it finished. So would I DIY a music video again? Maybe not. Probably not like that as well. Like, I don't have equipment to do proper, like, full on the sort of normal music videos that you're used to seeing. I mean, this phone, the cameras are better, but it's not really the same as like having a big cinematic camera. So it's like, I feel like if I'm going to DIY a music video, then I do need to put extra work into the editing side of it to like polish up, things that I can't do on my own. And, what I can do, just making it look less like it's just been thrown together, like actually have some production values in there. And the other thing about DIY is like, there's things that you just can't do. Like, I could put my tripod in here, but if I wanted a moving shot, I'd have to get help. And if you're doing a moving shot, you want to have it stabilized. So yeah, I think probably this might be the only music video I ever made, but that's a box I can tick off. I've done a music video, and next time I won't DIY it. If I'm going to make another music video, I'll probably just go to a studio, find a director, and just pay the money to get it done professionally. But yeah, no, it was a fun experience, and Klawu was fun to work with, and really good with the emails. We're going back and forwards over months. Like, this email chain got really long, but I would send him where I'm up to, and get some feedback about how it's going and what he thinks. There were a few technical things I had to solve as well. So there's one bit in particular that just didn't want to render properly. It kept getting pixelated, and I had to learn about bit depth and render this massive file and then send it to YouTube. And then YouTube, I think, has shrunk it without making that pixelation happen. So I think that's probably something that HitFilm does a little bit oddly. HitFilm isn't supported by like the big graphics cards makers in the same way that a more professional thing like Adobe or DaVinci Resolve, it doesn't get the same support. So I think sometimes you do get glitches in HitFilm that you just have to live with, just have to work through. But it had less glitches than it did in the past, so that's a good thing. I think that's the main stuff I can think of off the top of my head. So if anyone wants to ask me like questions about things I might have forgotten to talk about, hit me in the live chat. But yeah, no, so I'm not going to stay online for too long though, because I was so sick on Friday and over Easter, and I'm doing better now, but yeah, I'm not quite 100%. But I'm on the mend. I saw the doctor yesterday, and she's happy with what I've been doing to get better. I think it's just like massive fatigue and so on. So yeah, I couldn't keep doing the scare acting, but I did get one good day of scare acting in. But yeah, no, my shoulder, like there's something in there that still hurts. My ankle still hurts, and yeah. But no, I'm definitely on the mend. So next week, hopefully we'll be back to our usual, like, 2-hour live streams or whatever's going on there. Get some more videos going. I do have some punk rave coming. So Punk Rave Australia reviews will start up again at some point very soon. Like, there's actually stuff on the way to me as we speak. What else do I have to do? I feel like there's another thing, but yeah, trying to remember all the things at the moment. Yeah, the poor little brain. I've spent way too much time in bed, but no, I've been sort of gradually walking a bit more, and I need to do a bit more stretching. But yeah, so that's my little live stream about the music video, and yeah, the lyric video. Trying to think if there's anything I've missed before I sign out. Yeah, so it's now streaming across. Well, I'm not sure exactly all the platforms it's streaming on. I know that Klauu's got it on SoundCloud and it's on Spotify. I think I can't check, but if it's not in the description of this live stream right now, I'll chuck it in when we finish. I think it should be there, but I'll check once we wrap this up. So yeah, it's out there if you want to stream it, just listen to it. And yeah, one thing, what with copyright type stuff, right? So he's submitted it to a distributor and they put it all everywhere. And yeah, so when I uploaded the videos, it did detect, oh, this is someone else's music. And but Klauu on his end was able to make sure I didn't get any copyright penalties on that. And that took a few days to go through. But yeah, no, it was pretty easy. And yeah, he's really easy to work with. I know he's got some more music that he's working on at the moment. So you can also see like his past work. He does a lot of that electronic producer kind of thing. Yeah. Is there anything else? If anyone wants to jump in, otherwise, I guess maybe at 20 minutes. Once it hits 20 minutes, I might go if no one has any questions. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's harder for me to think about what there is in the music because that was months ago. But I guess I filmed like a lot of I recorded a lot of layers of vocals, and there's also like some growl vocals in there, and then he's layered them, so you can actually hear like layers of me singing. And I think especially towards the end, there's like the hint of that growly sort of voice, and then also the disturbed voice, which I have actually stopped doing the disturbed voice. Where it's like sort of half clean. Hey, yeah, so I just released a music video, so that's what we're talking about for now. I'm still recovering from being sick, but so I'm not going to stay too long. But if you have any questions about the music video, I'm here for a little bit longer. Yeah, no, if you listen closely to the track, you'll hear different layers of my voice in there. Yeah, which is like it's a fun way to do stuff. So like when I do covers on YouTube, I tend to do just like I'm doing them in one take, so it's just my voice in a single layer. But for this as a studio project, and I do this for studio projects like all the time, is you record extra layers. It's called double tracking. But apart from like the normal double tracking, we also had like me doing it in different sounds, and then you add it all together, and it just creates that really cool effect. Hey. You guys got me doing this funny thing. Yeah, well, I think I've covered most of the stuff. I just recorded it on my usual Rode microphone. At some point, I do want to maybe get SM7B, or there was another one someone was recommending me, but I've forgotten what it is. So maybe I just get the 7B. But and yeah, I think I need a new microphone stand, or I don't know, I could use the little one I did for the voice acting, wherever that was. Yeah, no, is there anything else? So I recorded my stuff on Logic Pro 9 on my really old MacBook Pro. It's about 12 years old now, maybe. Still kicking along. I'm gonna be so sad when it finally dies. Yeah, I'm not sure what tech Klawu uses. Yeah, I have no idea. Unfortunately, he couldn't make it to the live stream just because like he's in Europe, and like the time I think he's on his lunch break, or was on the lunch break to watch the premiere of the music video, but now has had to go back to work. So, but yeah, no, it was cool he could come and watch that with us. We've passed 20 minutes, so this is your last chance to ask any questions. Or I always wanted to ask, do you like Slaughter to Prevail? Oh, is that the one with? I hope I don't embarrass myself. Is that one with Alex Terrible? The guy with the funky mask. And he has a really interesting voice. And he does a lot of those videos. I think that's him. I haven't actually listened to a lot of their music. It is okay, awesome. Yeah, I've seen some of his like covers of stuff, and I like, you know, he's a really good entertainer the way he makes those videos. But I haven't actually listened to a lot of his band. I guess what were the characters? How'd you come up with that? Oh, so the characters, yeah, I was trying to get a mix of like different things, and you know, I mean, I don't know for sure what Klawu's idea was with the lyrics, but of course, my interpretation, I took more of like an introspective kind of one, and you know, the inner conflict kind of one, and I suggested the name Schism as that kind of thing, like where you split into different people, different personalities, and so I was trying to get as many different personalities as I could, and like, you know, when I look in my own wardrobe, like I've got so many different things. Like maybe one day I'm going to be cute, maybe another day I'm going to be crazy. So I tried to get a balance of that. And so, yeah, I've got a few. I did have like little names for them. I can't remember if I posted the little names on Patreon or not. And I'm not sure where I have them listed, but it was just basically named after like what the costume was. A split or division between strongly opposed sections or parties caused by difference in opinion or belief. Yeah. And I'm the hell waiting for the new album's going to be sick. Yeah, I'm a bit behind on like music, like news in the music world, so unfortunately. But yeah, no, so Schism, I just like that word, and especially because like it's that sort of electronic music, and there's some harsh noises in that, and Schism like in an onomatopoeia kind of sounds like that, and without being too obvious. Like you don't want to call it split personality, that's too obvious. I think Schism was like that split, and then it also leaves it open to interpretation. Like, is it a schism within yourself, or is it like a schism between you and someone else, and you know, maybe they don't accept you for who you are. I like to have things that I like to be able to leave things open to interpretation if I can. Like, you don't want to over explain it, and if people want to get something from the music that maybe you didn't intend, but they can get their own story from it, that's great. Like I do that all the time. If I'm listening to something and I want to interpret it my own way, and it becomes meaningful to me, like why not? There is the author's intention, but then there's what I personally get from it. So yeah, there's 10. Oh, I might have to look at my own Patreon thing just to remember exactly what all the different characters were, because yeah, oh man. Yeah, so okay, so we've got that in no particular order, but there's the dragon onesie one, and that one was fun to play with because like when the hat's down, it kind of has its own face, and then there's like my face in it. Really scums. Recommend it to a couple of my friends. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I think like, you know, making the music video, I did want to tell you guys about, you know, the track and all that earlier, but I thought, yeah, with the music video, let's just do it all at once. And I think like, I mean, I wish I could know what your experience was as people who are seeing that video for the first time, because like I've spent so long working on every tiny thing. I can't have that experience anymore. I don't know what it's like to see it for the first time. So yeah, having that and also hearing the music for the first time, yeah, I hope you guys had fun with that. So yeah, the dragon onesie, that, yeah, I liked that my face and then the dragon's face when you bob down. And so when I was moving in that, I was intentionally trying to show the dragon face sometimes and then have my own face. And that was the sort of more childish, gormless kind of one. A reaction video. Hey, hey, if you're turning up late, I released a music video and a lyric video. You can see them on my channel now, and we're just talking about that. So I'm going through the characters at the moment. So yeah, no, the dragon onesie was one of the more childish kinds of ones. And then I've got, like, because it's kind of childish, hey, hello. Wow, everyone's turning up now. Yeah, I hope you had a chance to watch the video, the music video, but if not, afterwards you can have a look. Music video and lyric video. Now, yeah, so back to the dragon onesie. Because it's like a sort of gormless, childish kind of one. That's why I put that cheap fire effect in there. I was like, if this is going to be the cheap one, I'm going to make it extra cheap with the fire. There is a moment where the fire cuts out because, like, it just didn't suit the mood of the music at that point. But yeah, the rest of the time there's this cheesy fire. Next character along. Okay, so there's like the sort of the cat. Yeah, the sort of cat hoodie. Now that's my leopard cat hoodie kind of one, and what I'm wearing, the little cat gloves. I don't know if you really see the cat gloves so much in the video itself, but they were there, and I was wearing a tiger t-shirt, and yeah, that one's sort of like half cheesy, but like cheesy in a different way. Oh, that one actually has this blanket in the background with the dogs in the background. So yeah, I guess that was, about animals. I mean, I like animals, and that's just another sort of costume kind of thing I have. Yeah, I think the effects, it's just, it's high contrast. I'm not sure that there's anything particularly like special I've done there. Oh, you might notice I changed my glasses at different points as well. I'm not sure how many people would pick that up, but I got different glasses depending on how I felt. What would go with a different thing, or just to change it up. Some of them I'm not wearing glasses as well. Okay, the next one is that sort of mohawk hoodie one, and you can really see the blue hair. This was before I got my hair redone as well, but you probably can't notice that. So this is that hoodie that has those spikes, one of my punk rave hoodies, and I think I'm just wearing a black top. And because that one, I put a bit of a blue sheen on it. I was trying to get different colors for the ones that have that my crazy wall as the background. Because the background, like, it's so obviously the same background, I wanted to have a different color scheme for each one. So that one got the blue kind of color scheme, which really highlighted the hair. It's also got a slight sideways kind of blur, whereas later on I do different kinds of blurs to just change the vibe of it. I'm not I wasn't going for a particular mood, but it's interesting when you put on a different costume. I did sort of even though they might be similar kinds of characters at some points, because the costume feels differently, I did experience just feeling okay, I got to act in this sort of different way. And I don't know if that one was necessarily more subdued or anything, but it did take on its own character. Yeah, it's sort of an interesting experience. So moving on, we've got the Pikachu onesie, and I did bring my coughing on camera a couple times. It's cool how you managed to make the characters different. Yeah, I'm really glad that came across. I wasn't sure it would happen. My intention originally was just to change costume, but I different with such little. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, no, that was really unexpected for me. I was just I'll just change costume. But once I was in the costume, yeah, I just felt different, and I felt like I should act different and just bring out whatever the costume is going for. And so yeah, the Pikachu one though, I also wore one of my spiked collars, and so it was sort of going for yes, it's childish, but there's also something sinister about it, and you can kind of see in my facial expressions sometimes that yeah, I'm Pikachu, but I'm also bad Pikachu. So yeah, that's that one. And then we've got the pink cat hat. And so that one, I think I just wore a white shirt. Yeah, one of my white sort of Japanese shirts. And I mean, the pink cat, like it's another cat hat, but because it's pink, it's different, like different again, a different vibe. So I think the leopard cat was maybe a bit more aggressive, whereas the pink cat was maybe a bit more like, I don't know, catty. And yeah, and then because the like that cat goes, the hat goes into these little glove things, and so it changes the way that you move with it. I also put a couple of light flares in there. They're very subtle, but there are these little red lights that sort of pop up in the background. I like how you did the same expression crying in a row, but the characters did it so different. It makes sense. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you like that and can see that. Because yeah, as I was going through like each take of the video, like it's the same point in the music, so I tended to like know what vibe I was trying to get, but because I'm in a different character, I'm doing that same part but in a different character. And yeah, I was surprised also while editing to see that happened, because I don't know that I was 100% conscious of it at the time, while I was doing all this stuff. And the setup looked a bit dodgy, I gotta say, though, because I had my tripod and like a sheet in the background, and it looked like I was up to something. But yeah, no. So the pink cat, and it's got these red light flares that sort of come in and out. Yeah, and so that was fun. Next we had, so there's the one where I'm like, I've just come out of the shower, and I actually did that having just come out of the shower, basically. Like I put on a top. I was almost not going to, but I did put on a top just in case, so there's nothing to look for. But I was trying to go for more of a naked vibe, and that's actually the first one that I filmed as well, with the yellow backdrop. And yeah, because like when you come out of the shower, you do look like, especially with the hair, and it's all like sort of clumping together and so on. And so that one, maybe I originally had more of a vulnerable idea, I don't know, but it sort of it just did its own thing, really. And because that was my first one, like that was my very first run through, like it's probably the most raw in terms of me synchronizing to the music. So yeah. And then the yellow vibe changes the mood of that as well. And that's the only one that I had the yellow, and I actually used like this glow effect so that you can't see the creases in the fabric on that one as well. And I mean, if you look very closely at the edges, maybe you'll see a bit, but yeah, no, it helped make that more like less obvious that it was this heaps DIY thing. The next one is that sort of Sith witchy kind of maybe satanic sort of one, where I've got the hoodie. I've got my hair in little plaits, and I've got inverted pentagram. And yeah, that's another one of my punk rave hoodies. That sort of, yeah, it sort of looks like a Sith robe kind of thing. And I think that's one of my favorite ones. At least my personal favorite. If you're thinking about DestroyerMariko, that's definitely on the Destroyer end of the spectrum. And yeah, so that one I was going for a bit more of a menacing, magical kind of vibe. And you'll notice in the way that I've edited it, it does come in at like some very important points in the video. So there's one where there's a pause, and then suddenly like looking up as the music starts again. There's a few key words like at the ends of lyrical sections where it comes in a big way. And then it's like, I think the very last one that pops up as well. So you can see that I've got favoritism for it, but it also worked really well, especially like if I'm going for a bit of a darker vibe in the way that I've done the music video. Like, yes, I have these cheerful onesies and so on, but then there's like this darker kind of thing going through it. And because the music does have that darker edge to it. And so I think that's, yeah, I feel like bringing that in a bit more kind of captured that, at least for me. That's probably what, like, the way to explain it for me. Yeah, and then there's the Teddy one, which is, I try not to do my shoulder, but this And then I had my really worn out teddy gloves. And what did I have? I think just a black shirt on underneath. I think I tied my hair back so that you couldn't really see it underneath that hoodie, just to get it out of the way. And like, whether you have your hair back or out or in plaits and all that, that changes like the feel of it as well. And visually, especially because I've got blue hair, if you can hide that. Yeah, and then that's the one that I had, that light. And the light, I should just keep this up. Hey, I think the light flare mostly focused on this white bit. I think it detects like the brightest point. And so most of the time it does a light kind of thing here. Sometimes it would pick up my teeth. I don't know if any of that got into the final cut. But yeah, it's a fun thing to do. So if you're planning a video and you know that you want those light flares, you could try and figure out, how do I make this point in the thing the lightest point? And it actually moves around and it gets bigger or smaller. It like adapts to the thing. And I was just like, this is so cool. So like early on, that didn't really feel like all that interesting. But when I found that effect, I was like, this is the effect that goes with the teddy. Like it worked really nicely. It fit in really nicely. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun, like bringing in the light, and especially because you've got these darker elements, and then here comes this sort of very pure. The teddy is kind of childish, I guess. I don't think necessarily my performance was childish. It's another one of those ones that's sort of in between in the spectrum. But yeah, that bright light shining out was one of my favorite effects that I stumbled on in the process. And then we've got this sort of visual K one where I actually puffed up my hair. That was before I got this shortened, so I couldn't puff it all the way up. But it's sort of just, you can see it. And then I've got like the red fluffy jacket, like it's lined with that fluffiness, and yeah, very visual K. And yeah, that one was fun. And so that one has more of the red look. So if you remember with the Mohawk hoodie one, that had a blue look and had a sideways glow, whereas this one is very red. I emphasize the reds, and it has more of a vertical kind of glow going on. What else was on that background? The sort of Sith witchy one. That one I think I just desaturated a bit and made it a bit more black and white and a bit colder in that way. But yeah, this Visual K one is very warm. It's very red and a bit, I don't know, is flamboyant the right word? And I think we've got one more. Oh yeah, the last one. So the last one, I didn't know what to call it. I'm wearing one of my hoodies that I got from Japan, from Harajuku. And I think I tied my hair back for that as well. I'm wearing like a yin yang necklace. And so I just called it yin yang goth. That one I think was the most like, I don't really know what this is kind of look. It's like intra and inter schism, differences between characters and within characters, schism squared. Oh my gosh. I suppose that's one way to think about it. Like there's so many different things, because there's also like categories of characters. So there's the sort of cutesy ones, and then there's the more gothic ones, and all the gothic ones have that crazy background. Yeah, so I did have like a few different themes within themes, maybe. Schismception. But yeah, so that last one, that yin yang goth kind of thing, and like the different glasses, and it sort of has that more formal kind of jacket look, and I'm wearing some rings as well. I wasn't really sure what to childish outfit, but not acting. Yeah, like there's like if you drew a grid, like here's all the childish ones and here's all the ways of acting, you could probably plot them out, I guess, maybe. But yeah, so the yin yang goth, I don't really know what that was going for. It's just like I just put on the costume, but in editing I was like, I don't really know where this fits. It's sort of that weird in between. Like maybe it reminds me a bit of like high school me, where like you do have the hair tied back and there is a bit of a formality, but also mixed in with that kind of gothic stuff that I do nowadays. I don't know. I didn't know what to think of it, but I made that more of a yellow kind of look. And if you look closely, it has kind of grid lines on it. Although some of those grid lines like wiggle with the picture. So they're not perfectly straight. It like adapts to what the picture is on the screen. Yeah, and those are the 10 characters sort of rambled about. And yeah, so the colors with the sort of more gothic characters on that background with all the writing, you've got the blue, you've got the red, you've got the yellow, and then you've got the sort of more washed out, desaturated kind of one. And then with the other ones, I mean, with the leopard cat and the shower one, they had different backgrounds. With the ones that were black backgrounds, so some of it I was playing with like the lights, the light flares. So the bear has a very obvious light flare. The pink cat had some very subtle light flares. The Pikachu is, I think, the one that I left mostly untouched. Um, but yeah, no, and then the dragon with the cheesy fire. But yeah, I had fun, like not just making the costumes and performing the characters, but also like in editing, trying to interpret, okay, here's what I've got on the screen. How do I don't know, highlight different things about it? How do I emphasize the mood of it? And so yeah, playing with effects and colors. That was a lot of fun. So yeah. I'm glad you could see the difference in the different characters and how they all came out. Yeah, and like the acting and all that. It was a lot of fun trying on different things and doing things in different ways. And yeah, I really got into it. I think the shower one. I mean, it's probably appropriate that it's the most raw because like I was almost naked. um, but yeah, when I really got into the swing of things and started really exploring the different characters, it was fun. And like, I've never had so many characters in one thing. But it's all like, I guess, pieces of me, and that's what I like. I like putting that into the things that I do. But at the same time, people can get what they want from it. I'm really glad that I was able to incorporate some of Klauu's footage, him going through all the doorways. Yeah, and just editing that into like a sequence, but also trying not to make it predictable. So sometimes it's going forwards and then suddenly it'll go backwards and then forwards again, and then it's going backwards, but then no, actually it's going forwards and then backwards, and then going through the door. Oh no, let's not go in the door. What's in there? Yeah, no, the sort of mystery of it. Yeah, it was good fun, but a lot of work, and it took a lot of time. And I've had other things that I've wanted to edit, but I was like, no, I've got to finish editing this thing. So yeah, from now, I guess I can do other stuff, and I'm going to be doing the Punk Rave Australia again. I think if that hadn't gone on pause last year, I think maybe making this music video would have been a little bit difficult because like that does take a lot of time as well. But yeah, no. So now the music video is out of the way. Once the Punk Rave arrives, I can get onto that. Just gotta, make sure no one's around. But I've got, so when the Punk Rave Australia videos come back, they'll be slightly different because I've got different hair, so I can play with my hair a bit more, and I've got different camera on my phone. So I'm hoping that the picture will be a little bit better and you might be able to see more details. But yeah, no, I think that's the main thing that's coming up. I feel like there was one more thing, but I just can't remember at the moment. I'm probably going to be really embarrassed when I remember whatever it is. But yeah, so I'm really happy the music video is out there finally, and I can just sort of move on. Like, now I don't, and every live stream I don't have to be like, hey guys, I'm still working on the thing, it's coming. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to wrap up because I am like a bit worn out and I've still got a little bit of mending to do. I am finding mornings easier since daylight saving switched over. So I'm gonna try, like, as I'm trying to get healthier, I'm gonna try and also just improve my habits generally. Like, I might as well use this moment as a bit of a reset. I was already kind of trying to, but yeah, after getting sick on Good Friday, like I woke up in such a state. We can talk about all that stuff later. Yeah. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching my music video and the lyric video. I hope you liked it, and I hope this stream has been interesting and some of the choices that I made in it. yeah, I really got carried away. I don't think Chloe was expecting me to like get this full on with the music video. It was just like, maybe just do something for fun. No, if it's me, I get carried away. So I need to control myself a bit better sometimes. But, you know, when you get inspiration, sometimes you just have to follow it, right? So yeah. Now this weekend, I think I'm going to be a bit busy. So probably the next time you'll see anything on this channel, I think will probably be the next live stream, but you never know when inspiration strikes. In any case, next week, so because we've come out of daylight saving in Sydney, we're now on Australian Eastern Standard Time, not daylight time. So for those of you overseas, the time will have changed a bit. And if you've got daylight saving wherever you are, maybe it's changed by 2 hours instead of 1. But yeah, no. Wednesday, 8 p.m. AEST. But closer to the day, I'll put up a scheduling thing, and it'll be a bit more noticed than this one. Like this one, I wanted to hide it just because I wanted people to focus on the music video. But I had it unlisted and ready to go. Next live stream, I will put up, you know, a few days beforehand, so that everyone like knows, yes, it's happening, and you know, to be here if you can. But time zones are tricky. Yeah. Anyway. If I remember whatever the other thing was that I was going to do, I don't know, maybe more things turn up, but I think Punk Rave Australia is the main thing that's coming next. Yeah, and I don't know, somehow my life is just always busy, like I'm always doing something, like, yeah. But I thought since you know, I've been sick anyway and this was ready to go, let's release it finally, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I guess I'll see you guys next week. And the stream. See you guys.